Nice to see everyone and good to be together. Welcome to those who are here the first time. And we usually start with some slides with the teachings on there, and we'll go through them. And after that, we'll have some time for questions and also shares. We can hear each other and share experiences about short moments. And the slides, as we had some questions about the 12 empowerments, will go a little bit about the 12 empowerments, while also there are the teachings of all of the empowerments, which is the fundamental teaching of this short moments practice. And yeah, we'll share more while we are looking at the slides. Okay, we start with the introduction to open intelligence, also because I see some new people here. Question here, what is open intelligence? When we just stop thinking for just a moment, what remains? There's alertness, clarity, openness, the power to know, a spacious open intelligence. And of course, the thoughts appear again. We have many unpredictable thoughts, and we cannot really stop thinking for really a long amount of time. And the same open intelligence is equally present with thoughts and without thoughts. And that'll become more and more obvious sometimes with the introduction to open intelligence. When we just stop thinking for a moment, there's an obviousness of the space, openness, that clarity, that knowing, awareness, that is more obvious when there are no thoughts. But really, the open intelligence is something about us that is always present. So we don't really have to go and find it and go and look for it or even cultivate it. It'll become naturally obvious just by hearing more and more about this open intelligence that is just went unnoticed due to our emphasis on thoughts and emotions. That's really it, really. When we focus on the descriptions of what we're thinking and what we're feeling, the open intelligence, that space where everything appears as becomes, unnoticed, so to speak. Also, another way of looking at it is that when we relax as what's looking, when we relax as what's seeing, what's hearing, we discover this open intelligence, wisdom and love, which becomes more and more obvious when we gain confidence in open intelligence, is that we find that power to know, what we could call wisdom, and also love. Yeah, so open intelligence, what's looking. And maybe Jochen, would you like to continue there?
Sure. So fundamentally, there are two approaches to the use of the mind, and we'll talk about them now. The first approach, the focus is on our thoughts, emotions, and sensations. We call all of these data, just to keep it super simple. And that's basically, the life that most of us have been living so far. Um, we're thinking about what we're thinking and we're thinking about our emotions, and we look for reasons. Why do I feel sad today? And then we go into the stories, or our focus always is on whatever appears in our body, you could say mind or heart. And then we'll find. Oh, okay. And in the second approach, I jumped to that. In the second approach, the focus is placed on the nature of mind. So in the first approach, it's on the content of our mind, and here it's the nature of mind, which we call open intelligence. And as you can see here, when we focus on the nature of mind, the sky opens up, and there is just more brightness, there is more clarity, there is more spaciousness. And that's what the entire teaching is about, is how can we tap more and more often and more deeply into this nature of mind instead of being stuck in and circling around in the content that appears in the mind. And as Kati mentioned, to answer the questions from last time about the empowerments, so the empowerments, the 12 empowerments are a 12-part teaching, and we'd love to hear more also from people later who are currently going through or have just gone through them. And but in the first three empowerments, it basically lays the foundation. People come from many different backgrounds, different countries, different age groups, just many different backgrounds. And the first three empowerments lay the foundation, you could say. So we come to understand this first approach of the use of the mind and how this really causes suffering. Like our suffering doesn't come from the content of our mind, it comes from how we deal with that content of our mind. And it also shows that everything that comes up in our mind or in open intelligence is really just the dynamic energy of it, just like air and the movement of air is the dynamic energy in space. And nothing needs to be done about it. Open intelligence is our basic nature or identity. Open intelligence brings us back to our original condition of benefit. So, as Kati mentioned, it really is, and we come back to that point many, many times. It's important to first understand and increasingly realize in our direct experience that open intelligence isn't something that we need to find or create somewhere outside or that we need to get from somebody or that we need to achieve. It's the recognition that there is an underlying basic nature that we just have not looked at before, but it's already present within all of us. And the teaching and the practice reveal that to us. So it's not something that we're getting or finding elsewhere. It's something that is revealed, that is already present within us. When short moments of open intelligence are replaced, when short moments of open intelligence are repeated many times, the recognition of open intelligence becomes automatic and uninterrupted. It is found to be stable in itself. By the power of open intelligence, we're not distracted by trying to control the flow of data. So, the practice that we're talking about here is called short moments of open intelligence, which means throughout the day, for just a short moment, we recognize, we tap into this obvious presence of open intelligence that's, as I said, already within us. And by doing that again and again in all the different situations in daily life, over time it stabilizes itself. That recognition comes more and more into the foreground so that there is a stable confidence and assurance, you could say, that open intelligence is always present, whether we take a short moment or not. But initially, these short moments of open intelligence help to establish that.
Resting naturally as open intelligence for short moments during daily activities. So that's also the power of these short moments, is that we can take them throughout our day, whatever we are doing. So while we are walking, talking, washing up, speaking, running, shopping. So we don't have to have a special time, place, or even mood to be in. It's simply whatever we are doing, um, whatever is coming up for us, we can take short moments. That makes it very practical. Because everything, no matter what's going on, is the energy of open intelligence. So it's always an opportunity to recognize it. And sometimes in the beginning, it doesn't really feel like we might not understand or not really know if we're taking short moments, if it's the right way or what is actually a short moment at all. So that question comes up in the beginning especially. But only taking short moments is more about the quantity rather than the quality of a short moment. And then obviously we have other ways of just hearing teachings like this, hearing each other's shares of direct experiences or going through the 12 empowerments that all evokes open intelligence. So that's a way of making open intelligence obvious too. So if we cannot take short moments, there are other ways of, or we feel we cannot take short moments, then there are other ways where how open intelligence becomes more and more obvious. But we have the opportunity just to remember a short moment. Yeah, we shared about, this is another metaphor to show how open intelligence is something about us, that it's stable, clear, indestructible. It's our indestructible essence, like the crystal ball. No matter what appears, what reflects as the crystal ball, it's like indestructible. It's crystal clear, whether it's a nice display or a bad display. And that's really what the nature of mind is, that we find that indestructible essence in ourselves, like a crystal ball is unaffected by whatever images appear. The nature of mind, open intelligence, remains lucid and clear regardless of data, the thoughts, emotions, and sensations that arise within it. And that is obvious in a short moment. Also, what's obvious in a short moment is that when we rely on open intelligence, it's like we sit on the top of a mountain, we see everything clearly. And it's like we are resting naturally in the vast view. Everything is open. So so we rely on open intelligence rather than emphasizing, describing, making a story out of our thoughts and emotions. So we have a vaster view and experience a soothing energy and the clarity of open intelligence. Okay, oops, now I jumped everywhere. Okay, I'll just go back here a moment. Yeah, this is part from when we look at how we deal with thoughts and emotions, then we could find 4 ways how we handle thoughts and emotions. Like we can see ourselves indulge our thoughts and emotions. We describe it, like we said, we describe, for example, our anger or our sadness, or we try to avoid it and try to not think about something, try to avoid a person that makes us angry or irritates us, or we replace it with better thoughts, or we do something that will make us feel better. And here, with the short moments, we get to know how it is to let data be as they are. So to let the feeling or the thought that we really want to either indulge or avoid or replace be as it is, as the energy of open intelligence. So there's a lot of energy that gets freed up because we don't need to be involved in indulging, avoiding, and replacing everything. So that becomes more and more clear when we gain confidence in open intelligence. It's a lot of energy that gets freed up and also time. So we don't really need to fix ourselves in the same way anymore. Let me see. I will take one more. This we had as well, this metaphor, which is powerful. It's like that data within open intelligence can be likened to a breeze blowing through the air. And the breeze and the air are inseparable. Both are air. So when the breeze blows, it is the dynamic energy of air. And so when data and emotions or thoughts stir, they are dynamic energy of open intelligence. So the breeze and the air, you cannot really take them apart. And that's the same with open intelligence. There's not an open intelligence somewhere else, and over there, all the emotions that we need to get rid of, basically. It's within us as everything. Um, yeah, so open intelligence is within us and not something we have to get from outside. We can count on open intelligence in every moment. So because we started with what are the 12 empowerments, it's a bit of a, we'll not go through everything today, but it starts with the beginning of the empowerments being the foundation of what is open intelligence and how we can rely on open intelligence. And the further empowerments go then more into directly into belief systems and all the ideas that we take ourselves and other people to be, and recognize and bring open intelligence to that. And basically deepen, get confidence that open intelligence is within us and not something we need to get from outside. And how we actually then can count on open intelligence when life isn't easy, when things get, when emotions or feelings or circumstances are challenging. So we need something to rely on because maybe we don't have the good feelings or the good thoughts in the moment. So, okay, I guess we will maybe pause here for today. We could see if there are some questions, and then especially some shares about maybe going for the empowerment or also questions we're happy to hear. Let's see. Yeah. You can just you have a question, just yeah. Bob, yes. You're muted if you're speaking. Yeah. Shall we help you
There
there?
we go.
Oh yes. Mhm.
Yeah. So if I'm processing this uh, correctly, um, I find myself uh, doing open intelligence without any specific um, problem going on in my life or situation going on. It just seems to uh, be that it's available to me, and I do it. I was under some assumption at the onset, not of this meeting, but I was that I thought somehow I knew that you could use it all the time, but I went like there's nothing really happening, which is a nice thing because it's not always like that. That there's nothing going on in my life. That would require me to um, you know, activate open intelligence.
Mm.
But then, Jochen and Kathy, I think you wrote something in our prior yesterday. You wrote something, and I was gonna write to you, Jochen, about this question, and then your your explanation in that uh, thing that you wrote answered the question. So like right now, I could be doing open intelligence for a short moment, and there's nothing going on inside of me, that would require that. I mean, is that accurate?
Perfect. Yeah. There is most people turn to a practice, whether that's, short moments of open intelligence or yoga or drinking a lot of vodka, because we want to get rid of something that we don't like most people. There are also people who really, you could say are on a quest to find like the truth or, our true nature. But typically, what really motivates humans is pain and suffering. That was the Buddha's journey, for example, is he saw there was suffering wherever he looked, and he wanted to find an answer or a solution to suffering. Um, but eventually, we come to see that the practice really is equally important, but not maybe as necessary in neutral and positive states, as it's called in the in the teaching. So yeah, it's great. You can do it anytime, and the more often we remember, the more we're prepared for situations that are challenging, right?
So is
Like
that like the repetition of that?
mhm.
Not because, well, I'm going to repeat it a million times a day. I'm not saying that. But the repetition of it is, can you say it's reinforcing that you're connecting
Mm.
with open intelligence?
Yeah, I mean, recognizing yourself as open intelligence.
Yeah.
You're not really connecting with something else, right? You're just recognizing yourself as that. But yes, for sure. Yeah. It's
Well,
like
that's
learning ourselves about ourselves in a new way. And, just like you've looked into the mirror probably thousands and thousands of times over your life, and you kind of know what your face looks, and the more often you did that, the clearer you were, oh, that's me, that's Bob. uh, and in the same way, the more often we practice, the clearer and more instinctive it becomes.
will it help to, will it also help to clear, give clarity, not necessarily on a conscious level, but eliminate things that have always been in our consciousness and, let's say, not been cleared? These like let's say people had problems in their childhood, but they don't have any clue that that's disturbing them in the present. So by doing the repetition of open intelligence, will that, again, not the purpose of it, but will that help clear those things out too without even knowing it?
Yeah. To I mean, if there has been a lot of trauma in one's life, we always recommend to speak with, a trauma-informed therapist or somebody who is specialized on that kind of thing. It's not the purpose of the short moments practice and teaching,
Right.
but for sure, like the every short moment clears countless data. It's not just for this one moment. And so in my own experience, just to make it very, like real, in my own experience, many things that I wasn't even aware of, I then saw more, especially in the empowerments and the process of the empowerments, you just kind of see them, but also you realize that there is nothing you need to do about them.
Mm.
And they just resolve. So their influence weakens and vanishes. To control and guide. What Kati meant before about the assumptions, for example, that we have accumulated without even knowing about it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi guys, I have a question. Well, I have lots of questions actually. I just finished Empowerment 3, so I'm still at the beginning, and what's it been? It's been like super eye-opening, super confusing, sometimes frustrating, so lots of things. So I'll put two questions together. Firstly, often in the text it says like, after taking short moments repeated many times, it becomes more and more obvious. And so for me, maybe I take a short moment, or maybe I have a sort of some negative data stream and I realize that I've been indulging in that for the last 5 minutes or however long. So I take a short moment and then I take a breath and I feel a bit more relaxed, and then maybe I go back into it or maybe I don't. But that's not so obvious that I took a short moment or I did it right or whatever you want to call it. So for you guys, how would you describe that that's obvious to you? And then secondly to that, if you do have that situation where you take a short moment and then you go back into the same sort of indulgence, what would your advice be to do in that situation?
Great, great. Well, it's nice to see you, Isha. And great, you're going through the empowerment. And it makes sense that it is everything all at once, going through the first three empowerments, like confusing and just everything. And what you just shared, yeah, good questions. Whenever you remember a short moment, like I'll start with the second question there. You see yourself go into indulging again and taking another short moment whenever you notice it, that's perfect. So even if you go back into the indulging and then you remember again. So that is actually enough, just that. Sometimes you might even notice there's lots of indulging and then you go to the empowerment text or listen to a talk. That might be even easier than taking another short moment, which feels like doesn't work. And so then reading the text or listening can help actually even more in that moment, especially when we are gaining confidence in open intelligence. And initially, it feels like we don't even know what, and that's your first question, is open intelligence obvious or not? And what is it actually? And it's hard to see it, to know that it's actually there or that we're doing it right. So that's fine. And I wouldn't think too much about it and not even look for the obviousness too much.
Okay.
Yeah, just take the short moments. And I think what I'm sensing is that you're already seeing it, you're recognizing it, and because also you're noticing that there's indulging, and then you're noticing a short moment. So I think that's showing it's obvious that you're recognizing open intelligence. So you just continue and it'll become more obvious so that you can feel more confident about it.
Okay.
Mm.
Thank you.
Yeah, great. Thank you.
I found it very frustrating that open intelligence isn't a thing, that I can like clearly identify and reproduce in a way, like from an engineering perspective, it would just be great to have like a thing. But then whatever thing we arrive at would just be the next data stream, right?
Right.
Like in one moment it might be, oh, I feel spacious. That's great. And then so the next time I would look for spaciousness, but I couldn't feel spaciousness. So I thought short moments isn't working. So whenever we make it into a thing, we're already again focusing on the content in a way,
Yeah.
right? So it's not anything, and that's what makes it so unusual and so like different than anything else, at least that I had tried. Um, but eventually it does become more instinctively clear what it is. So to speak. Uh, yeah. So
Okay.
and the empowerments are fantastic for that. Like I always think it was a blessing for my kind of mind that we went through it in India in like 10 days, I think, through all the 12 empowerments. So I didn't even have the time to think too much about it or like try and, see, am I doing it right or what am I missing? We were just like going through it and it's such a genius structure that it just always kind of reveals the next step to deepen it. So now that you've done three, I think four 4 will be great to just like see, more, yeah, more about it and understand more about open intelligence and data. So yeah.
Okay, great. That's reassuring.
Great. Anyone else wants to share about the 12 empowerments, either how it's going or yeah.
Just a moment. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. Yes, I have just finished the 12 empowerments.
Mm.
And yes, for me also, it was a good way. Before I started the 12 empowerments, I thought a little bit, do I really need them? Um, I'm so far in my spiritual development, I don't need them, I think. But I was curious and I began with the 12 empowerments, and it was very challenging sometimes for me because they showed themes showed up, which I was a little bit embarrassed about it and so on. And with the help of Jochen, I worked through them, and it was very, very good. It was transforming and somehow, in a way, calming, so to say. Um, it's a little bit like at the moment for me is this whole thing with open intelligence is it came to my mind this scene of the Matrix where Neo put his finger into this liquid mirror, and then there was a piece of mirror on his finger, and somehow the whole arm was covered by, and it's somehow like this, like to be sucked in this open intelligence, not to do it, so to say. Oh, I have to remind me to that I am open intelligence is somehow like I am sucked in to it.
Mm.
And it's a little bit frightening, but almost, or in the most part, it's somehow calming. Yes, calming is the right word.
That's great. Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice to hear.
it's great.
Takes over, huh?
Most part feels great about it, and a little part is frightened, really.
What
Mhm.
what is frightening?
This to be sucked in this whole thing, to be this open intelligence, and I think the part which is identified with yes with this body or with my story and so on. I think this part is somehow frightened.
Mm.
Um,
That you lose something or
yes, that I lose something on this way. Yeah, but
yeah.
it's only a little. Yes, it feels like a little part. In the moment, I realize this anxiousness or frightening, it goes away.
You take another short moment, maybe even.
Yes. Then I have to remind me. Yes.
Yeah.
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 Yes. And then it works again.
Yeah.
Works. The words are somehow sometimes so difficult if you talk about this topic. And yeah.
Yeah, I understand. But
Yeah.
yeah.
But, yeah. Another thing is that also I'm also I'm a therapist, and I am several times challenged with my patients because I think it's so easy. You just have to remind yourself that you are open intelligence. I think about my patients, and it's for me still somehow a gap. How can I transport this yes, let's say this knowledge about open intelligence without sounding esoteric or something.
Mm.
Because sometimes I tried it in a let's say intellectual, rational way when I thought my patient would be a little bit skeptic if I come with you are everything and you are open intelligence and so on. Um, and I tried only to say yes, and all your thoughts, all your emotions, they show up and they vanish and show up and they vanish. But what is still there is your consciousness. I used the word consciousness because I thought it sounds such psychological. And even then, he reacted with, "It sounds a little bit esoteric for me." And there I realized, oh, it's sometimes really difficult
Mm.
to communicate this topic.
Yeah, yeah.
And then a part of me is somehow frustrated or annoyed, and because I think it's the solution for everything. And why is it so difficult to communicate?
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah. Well, generally, I don't want to go too much because this topic could be something we could probably have a conversation about
Yeah.
during the entire meetup. So I will just keep it brief, which I know that it wouldn't be really completely responded to, actually. Because, of course, in my experience, being psychologist and having my experience on that in that field, yeah, I think it's clear that the introduction to open intelligence is most powerful when it's wanted. Obviously, somebody needs to know that that is available.
Yeah.
And even just myself seeing everyone as open intelligence, so to speak. Being myself in the ease of being has a tremendous effect in the space with people. Just alone that, when you see the other person as what they are without saying it, you don't even have to speak about open intelligence consciousness, about what the thoughts and emotions and the topics are normalized, are really, I mean, in therapy, it's another other purpose than when we are here. But at the same time, it's ultimately what we are doing here is like getting to know ourselves with all our thoughts and emotions, normalizing our experience and resting in the ease of being, which you could call open intelligence, awareness, consciousness, or being, or just the ease of being. And yeah, so I think that's a good first step. I see just being in yourself, create that space. Mhm.
Yeah. Yes, that's also the case. Yes, I
That's, I'm sure you're
recognize
doing.
it also that there's somehow a change in the
Mhm.
atmosphere of a talk or something,
Yeah,
because I'm more in it or I more realize that I'm open intelligence. Yeah.
yeah,
Without talking about it. Yeah.
yeah,
I understand what you mean.
yeah.
Mm, yeah.
Well, thank you. It's very
Thank
good,
you.
good to hear. Let's see if there are other questions or also shares.
Can I
Yes,
say?
Wendy.
Hi. Sorry, I keep adjusting this. I hope it's not distracting. I'm not very good at the Zoom experience.
Of course.
I just wanted to say thank you and thank you to everyone's questions. They're really helpful, and I wasn't realizing that I had had a lot of them during the week until you each asked them, and so that was really helpful. And I think one of the just biggest little, I wanted to say two things. One thing that I've noticed this huge, delightful win from the experience. But the first one was what I think Isham, if I'm saying that correctly, asked about, even though I've been practicing meditation a long time, and even though I've had wonderful experiences and I'm able to drop in to that place that I recognize as myself, the short moment part, I don't know if it's because I'm thinking, okay, oh, a short moment now. But there's this watching, like, is this it? Is this it? That doesn't feel very it, right? Doesn't. But I think the biggest thing, and I actually experienced this in the beginning with, is the word Candace used, which I'd not really heard from my meditation teachers, was that feeling of relaxing, of just really, of resting. Even in the Dzogchen teaching, it's used, but the way she used it, it brought to attention that every moment, whatever I'm doing, it's amazing how much effort there is involved. It's amazing how much inner, effort. So the reminder to just relax deeply or rest is a kind of, feels like I can slip into it in a way like slipping into a hot tub. That it's a kind of a trigger I've been using. Just, okay, so I'm not sure what in this short moment being resting as awareness is, but I know if in this moment, whatever I'm perceiving, I'm aware of how tensely I'm trying to make something happen or figure something out. And just resting in that as deeply as I can, I notice that it can kind of let me relax out into it a bit. So I wonder if that's a valid approach.
That is perfect. Yes, that's perfect. Short moment, so to speak.
Yeah,
Resting
good.
naturally. Yes. Yeah.
Thank you. And I want to say that I hope I'm saying this correctly. Jorgs was saying about, I think that is almost the most powerful conveyance that I receive, is not so much, and that's what I received from Candace, just happening onto her YouTube video, was not only was every single word exactly like a precise surgeon describing awakened experiences I've had, but there was something in her, it was where she was speaking from more than what she was saying. It was the look in her eye and from where she was speaking that I listened to more than the words. And I could feel it, that she was just resting in this, that she was speaking from this awareness. And I felt that too when I first listened to the short moment with you, Kati. In your voice, I could feel, and you, Yoshin, I could feel where you were speaking from, which was as powerful, if not more so, than the actual words.
Yeah. You're recognizing it in yourself. That's really what happens. Yeah.
And it just like it, and so here's the big win that, it's during the week I was struggling with, is this it kind of feeling often, but I just would keep doing it because what else are we going to do while we're alive? Either get involved in all this, that hasn't been working so well, or try this. And I was with one of my oldest best friends yesterday, and we don't get to see each other very often. And so we're spending the whole day together. And one of her tendencies, which can tend to irritate me, is that she will, if I ask about someone or something, she will tell me blow by blow a situation or a conversation. And it will go on for an hour. And then he said, and then she said, and then I said, and then they said, and then we said. And normally I notice myself getting impatient and getting to be like, can we get to the point of this? Or, so how are they? Or I have my whole relationship with her, there's been that little dynamic. And yesterday I thought to myself, just rest. Just let her talk and just rest. And it just dropped me into this most lovely experience of how much I love her. Like, does it really matter if she tells a story for an hour or we talk about something else? Does it matter at all? No. And it allowed me to honor her by being so present and just love her. So I get filled up. And I realized, where am I trying to get to so quickly other than being with her?
Yeah,
And
that's
so
beautiful.
it was really beautiful. I'm sure it was nice for her too, right? Rather than the other energy of,
Yeah.
right, of that. So thank you for that.
Well,
And then
thank you.
lastly, I'm very interested in the 12 empowerments. I don't really, is it a course you sign up? Is it a separate thing? I know very little about it. I think I'll wait till after the holidays because it sounds like it involves some time. But I'm very interested in, is there a place where I could just read about what it entails, or is it how you sign up, or what?
Yes, yes. We can send you something via email also.
Sure.
And then we can also speak personally, and then I can share a bit more details, maybe after the holidays, like you say. Yeah, yeah, or
Okay.
anytime.
Okay.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Thank you. Thank you
Yeah.
very much. I really
You're welcome.
appreciate everybody too. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing a very powerful your experience there. Beautiful.
Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else would like to share, ask something? We have a little bit of time.
Hi, Kathy.
Hello,
It's
Shakti.
Chelsea. How
Yeah,
are you?
good.
How are
Nice to see you.
everyone? Fine, thank you. I just have this question because I found short moments looking for uh, information and reading about Dzogchen. And for me, Dzogchen is very interesting because it's a very direct way. And for me, it has been wonderful to find something so pure and instant, like short moments. And in relation with Satchen, when I read about it, there's always this need for a teacher and for like an introduction, like very important introduction with a teacher. And my question is, even though I've been practicing short moments and some practicing related with non-duality, and really for me it's very nice and important the centeredness and the calm that I've been feeling during these months. My mind is telling me that there's something lacking, that I have to find a teacher, and that short moments is very easy. Then I have to do more. And what do you think about that?
Well, thank you for sharing. It's great that you're seeing the short moments happening in your experience. Still, there's a voice saying, okay, there's something missing, something more. What is it? But ultimately, we might speak more about it. It's also in that share we did in the beginning. When we go further, there's something about the four mainstays, and you might have heard. And what that means is that there is a direct support system, and that does include also having a trainer, which means it's a person like a human being, just like each of us, but someone who can share their own direct experience. And that is very helpful. Like with anything one wants to deepen one's own direct experience with, like playing an instrument or something, having someone who shows exactly, give instructions, show how to do it, where maybe things can go into, where we practice something not correctly. Yeah, so that's why these four mainstays, which is one is the short moment itself, because everything is there to evoke open intelligence and to make open intelligence obvious. So a short moment is there, a trainer is there, the texts, which the 12 empowerments, for example, and the teaching has a lot of texts that evoke open intelligence. They don't just describe it, they actually evoke it. And then obviously we're coming here together with many, and when we hear each other, it's also really powerful, because then we see, oh, it's not just like a couple of people, it's like people with any background, for example, everybody can recognize open intelligence, which again is another aspect of the support. So yeah, so the support is something. Even though open intelligence is right here, it should be easy, right? Like you said. Yeah, it is easy, but it is simple. It's right here. Yet with all our habits and ways we've trained ourselves all our life, it isn't always so easy to recognize open intelligence. And that's where the support system comes in. So that's, yeah. I'll speak a bit more about it maybe in the next few meetings. Or Jochen, is there anything that you can think of in this moment?
That sounds great.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think just generally for me as a practitioner, which I, even after 20 years, I'm a practitioner, and being immersed, you could say, in a field where everything is an evocation of open intelligence just is so supportive. Like there is no end to this. And sometimes just thinking of like my teacher or somebody else in the community is like a short moment in a way, with so much inspiration and confidence. And like was shared before, like watching a video or reading a text is very powerful for the times when I maybe was unclear or didn't feel short moments as giving me the result that it should be. Things like that. Yeah. But we can talk more. I think it's a good question.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay. That's great. Thank you, everyone, for being here today. And
I think Guido, you raised your hand before as well, right? I don't know if I clicked that away while I was trying to mute somebody or if you took it away.
No, I took it away because I
Okay.
think someone else was a bit faster. So, but I don't have a question, just a comment. So what I really like is the idea. I don't need to understand open intelligence at all. I just need to rest in it. So now when I do the 12 empowerments and read the text and so on, so I really feel relaxed when I just know, okay, I don't need to understand. There's an intelligence within me which is able to understand that, not my conditioned thinking mind. So
Yeah,
that's really
that's great.
that's really good. So yeah.
That's really great. Thank you for sharing that. So true. Well, that's great. Well, thank you,
Just
everyone. Oh yeah, Josie?
one thing. I am a little bit lost because where could I find the 12
Self
where could I
empowerments.
yes, the 12 empowerments is there in the app? Are there
Yeah, it's an online course and it's something we set up together. Maybe we can speak and then I can show you how to access it and what that would mean. But
okay.
yeah, so it is something we first talk one-to-one because it is a 12-week course. You go through one by one, and
Oh, I see.
yeah. And
Okay.
it has questions attached, so it has text and questions, and it's like a process, but ultimately it opens open intelligence recognition and makes open intelligence more obvious with everything in our lives.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
I am.
And we can maybe email. We are already in touch,
Yeah.
right? And we can email them.
Yeah.
That's perfect. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, everyone. See you next week again.
Thank you. So good
Thank
to
you.
see you all.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care, everybody.
Cheers.
Bye bye.
Bye.